would like to schedule some follow-up discussions with the first two speakers who spoke tonight. I think there's some information that would be helpful for us to clarify, both from the administrative side as well as some of the points that were raised, and we're happy to follow up on the special ed discussion as well. As you know, last week was a big week. It was the start of school for our students. It began on Monday with our convocation, and I was really pleased. Jeffrey Canada came to us from Harlem, New York, and spoke to the entire faculty, and he was really quite inspirational. I've heard nothing but rave reviews about his comments, and I just want to give a special thanks to that. In addition to Jeff Canada, who opened up our convocation for all of our staff, Eric Jensen, another nationally, internationally known consultant, was in town. He is the individual who's been working with our staff from Kendall and as well as with Tracy. There are a number of schools that were represented at the training that we held that Monday, and every staff member that I've run into are really encouraged. It's very hands-on, practical skills and knowledge that teachers should have on how to better engage students as we work to try to change the culture here in our classrooms as well as in the district. And so we're going to continue with that support and the kind of training that we're encouraging. Obviously, on Tuesday, Journeys training. On Wednesday, school began. Regarding our facilities, I'm just going to highlight a few of the opening of school observations. Our facilities look great, and I do have to thank our custodians. I think they did a wonderful job. The many schools that I visited, the classrooms are ready. They looked great. I will also say that the grounds, the lawn maintenance and the grounds were also incredibly well maintained and trimmed. And what you don't know, because it was not in my resume, but I was the head of the grass cutting crew for the City of New London for 2 summers in a row. So I did have a crew of 4 or 5 people and I developed a lot of experience, so I pay attention to things like trim and looking at well-groomed structure. Anyway, now, PowerSchool implementation, however, was good, but we had some glitches. As you know, we made a major transition from our Genesis system to PowerSchool. Typically, the system gets shut down for a couple of weeks. As a result of that, there were some delays that were created, delays in our ability to get updated information on the number of students that had actually registered, and that compounded with the fact that we had a significant increase in students, which I'll talk about in a minute, created the need for us to make some staffing adjustments. They were not as timely as we would have liked. I think with our PowerSchool system being in place, we are going to be going through a major debriefing and make sure that we are taking steps down the road to complete staffing as early as we possibly can in the ideal world before the end of the school year. And then make adjustments as we need to based on some of the fluctuations. But this was almost like I don't like to use the term perfect storm because it was actually a good thing with our enrollment shooting up. But with enrollment increasing, as well as with some of the PowerSchool glitches, we had some snags with that. Staffing, at the time that was going on, we actually hired 58 new staff members. I think that's even greater than the number that we hired a year ago. We hired 23 new middle and high school teachers. At the elementary school level, we had 29 new elementary certified staff, and basically, essentially a total of about 28. Now, I talked a little bit about enrollment. We are about 138 more students, 140 students approximately, more than we had projected. That's a fairly significant number. We exhausted during the staffing process the 4 teachers that we needed and needed 2 more. In addition to that, as you know, with the opening of our Norwalk Early College Academy in the startup year, we weren't able to accommodate staffing with the existing staff at Norwalk High, and so we had to add teachers, and that was shared, obviously, at the Finance Committee, and it's actually in the recommendation that we're making to you with regard to surplus funding. So staffing is actually right now, at this point in time, it's 11,350 students. Now we're projecting that that could well be an actual of somewhat less, because we still have to go through the process of eliminating students who don't show, who for whatever reason do not return to our system. So I know it's early, it's September 2nd. Usually by October 1, and the first meeting in October, we'll have much more precise data about our staffing, about our enrollment, and we can tell you at the same point in time what our enrollment was from one year to the current year. The number of English language learners is really going up. Obviously, our ELL office, our Welcome Center, tested 140 pre-K children since February. Since August 18th, by mid-August, we've tested 66 more students, of which 43 students have come to us as unaccompanied minors. A number of them from Texas and elsewhere. And interestingly enough, especially at the secondary level, there are at least 28 children who've missed one and even more than 1 year of schooling. So we have a challenge not only to make certain that they're getting the proper instruction in terms of English language development, but also meeting their academic needs as well. So we may have to make some adjustments. We're going to be having a meeting on that to look at what kinds of programs, what kinds of enhanced services we can put in place for some of the increased number of English language learners who are entering our system at all levels, K through 12.
Can I just ask you,
Sure.
by unaccompanied minors, do you mean they had no legal guardian or legal parent? I mean, they were under 18 and
Yes.
adult?
Tony, do you have specifics on that?
Yeah, what they're unaccompanied minors, but they do have relatives that live in Norwalk, and they're staying with, quote, relatives.
Okay.
Mr. Toronto.
But they're not legal guardians necessarily.
No.
I believe this is impacting cities across the country, and we are one of many.
These are the kids that are coming in across the border?
Yes. Yes.
And the government's not giving us any dollar for that, are they? They're going to put that tax burden on us. That's what they're doing.
It's our responsibility to educate them as we enroll them in our school.
That's great.
Okay. That is my report.
Thank you, Dr. Rivera. Our next item on the agenda is the consent calendar. Tonight's consent calendar